Maker, the Hacker Maker Show, Offensive Education. So, hope everyone is having a good week and getting some good study time in. Fleetus was telling me that he's been on a 45-day try hack me streak, so that's awesome to hear. Good to see everyone on. Thanks for joining. I would have announced something sooner, but I've been setting up a new meetup site for the DC 940 group that we just started. We'll be getting into some of that. Oh man, sorry to hear that Dev Null's in. I actually broke my elbow in 2015. I was bench pressing and broke the end of my elbow off. So this is the scar that I've got left over from, if you can see that in the camera. Right in here. So yeah, that's a bummer. So hope you feel better soon. Is it your dominant arm or your non-dominant arm? Well, that's good. I don't know about yours, but mine really wasn't that painful. So it really wasn't that painful at all. Mine ended up, the tricep tendon ended up ripping the end of my elbow off, is how mine happened. And I actually ended up re-breaking it and having to go back and get surgery done on it again. So it's never fun. So I hope everyone's, like I said, having a good week. Get some good study in. Got some announcements to make. If you hadn't checked out the podcast, you should check it out, especially people that are trying to get started into offensive cybersecurity. There's a lot of folks on there. Had Dave Kennedy on, Alyssa Knight back a few months ago. Joe Vest will be on the episode coming out Friday. We had Louis Neffinger from Pentester Lab join on this last episode. So very good motivational content if you're trying to get started. Actually, it's motivational for any area of cybersecurity you're trying to get into. So if you hadn't checked out the podcast, check that out. So we've got some pretty cool news if you haven't heard yet. And while I'm thinking about that, I'm going to bring on my guest, my co-host from the Pwn School Project, Papa Shell. So most of you probably have seen Papa on Twitter and some of our streams and stuff. So welcome to the show, Papa.
Thank you, sir. How's it going?
Good. And yourself?
Not too bad.
So did you have a good weekend?
I did. Sometimes I got to think back, like, what did I do this weekend? Was it good?
They go by so fast, though, don't they?
Yeah, it did. I had some fun stuff going on. I also got to relax a little bit and play some new video games. It's been a while since I played games.
Oh, that's cool.
Trying to get back in the groove. Something about COVID and being in the same office at home all day just makes me, I think that's what it is, just not want to be in here after work's done. So
yeah, that's understandable. It seems like it really helps when you get your workspace separate from your play space, because I know I'll take my laptop downstairs if I just want to get away from my work area, just kind of separate. It's kind of crazy because I've worked from home for so many years and it still had to kind of do that to separate.
I have some little human elements that affect me from leaving unless I go outside.
So some baby shells.
Yeah, some baby shells, lots of them. And they're all homeschooling stuff on their own computers. So luckily it's pretty cool. They're just on Chromebooks. They can sit wherever they want or use an iPad or something. We got a nice flexible curriculum for them.
So from the number of them, you're pretty good at dropping shells.
Yeah. I won't touch that one.
It's awesome to have you on, and thanks everyone for joining. So we kind of been, this has kind of been on the DL for a while, but the week of summer camp, I decided and thought about and spoke with Rick and Papa Shell about it and thought about rebranding the Pwn School meetups in Denton, rebranding it as a local DEF CON group. Because one of the things that's kind of done, it's never been that. We've always tried to distinguish the two, but you know, when you announce the Pwn School meeting, people will get confused with whether it's in Denton, whether it's in Dallas.
Right.
And I just really think from being a DEF CON group that it'll help grow because, people know who the DEF CON group is. You really don't have to explain much there. Pwn School, not everyone knows as much. And with having Pwn School and having a DEF CON group, there's some definite separation there. People know the difference. And I think it'll draw people in and help grow our Denton group. Had a couple people that go to Dallas Hackers have attended Pwn School meetings in Dallas before, and they moved to Denton, and they DM me today and say, "Yeah, I see that you have a DEF CON group in Denton. We had Pwn
Yeah.
School in Denton, but I guess they weren't aware. So it's just too easy to confuse when you've got, two groups that are using the Pwn School name." And so I don't know. I think also part of my thinking was that maybe some people think that Pwn School was too newbie sounding. I don't know but I think, it's just the main thing is changing is the name. We're just kind of going under a different name. We're going to have the same format as we had before, and, same people, and Sheldon and Rick are helping me and brought Darren Freddie onto the team. Actually, how I met Papa Shell and Rick Funky Cold was through Darren Freddie. He worked with them. That's how we met. So not that it's not gonna hurt anything. It's just I think it'll help our meetings in Dallas. In Denton, get more recognition, I think. And it's easier too when DHA and DC 214 announce the different meetings. Because we've got two Pwn School meetings that can kind of get confusing. So, and then kind of one of my goals have been too is to make Pwn School more education based. So still kind of working on that. Pwn School still been kind of virtual. I'm not sure about things being in person. Although, a lot of times I do the workshops and stuff under the Pwn School brand for the free conference workshops. So maybe going more towards educational. Of course, Papa Shell and Funky Cold will still be involved with that as much as they want to, and so on. So we're getting a Discord server set up for DC 940. We're kind of looking at where I had like a Pwn School server set up on Discord, and we went ahead and we're getting it set up for the DEF CON group. So we'll be
Yeah,
letting everyone know.
I've always kind of wanted to go to a DEF CON group, but the only one we have is on the far,
Yeah.
into Dallas, just well away from me. So we're kind of hacking the system. I get to go to a DEF CON group now,
Yeah, it's kind of good. And it gets, gets a DEF CON group or something a little further. We've kind of built a pretty nice little community in Denton. Previously there wasn't, and it seemed like maybe there was a couple of attempts, or not, maybe or just a couple meetings, but we've done, pretty good. And so
I'm digging the downtown Denton area. Honestly, we really need to land a permanent spot. I know we've been at a Jedi Mammoth's place, which has been great, but and maybe we stay there. I don't know, but it'd be really cool to find a nice little dig where we can be able to hang out, grab some food, chat, present. So as things, hopefully more and more open up and get the staffing they need, I really hope we can find a space like right there on the square is perfect. We have the universities that are close. Everyone knows where it's at. It's just a nice little hangout spot.
Yeah, I like it. The vibe there downtown is pretty cool. Hopefully once hopefully the pizza place is replacing J&J's or whatever will.
Dude, that basement would be so stinking cool. That's like the perfect hacker den. I've been down there numerous times just hanging out. I guess it used to be maybe still is like a little music venue, but it's just, that would be a perfect dive, dude, right down there.
That's where hackers are supposed to be, in basements anyway, right?
Right, exactly. We just need a grandma, to own it, and then it'll be the grandma's basement. It'll be perfect.
So hopefully that works out. So yeah, that's the missing piece, is just to be able to have the food and stuff. Cause we're doing our meetings in the library there in Denton, and we bring in food from time to time, but just the logistic nightmare of getting that set up. Cause we'd get pizza. We always have way too much. That way people can order what they want, drink selection to be a little bit more. Otherwise you've got to get the different drinks or have people bring their own drinks and stuff. But yeah, hopefully something to happen there soon.
Pony Lover wants some beer. He said, I don't know if they have beer at the pizza place, but there's coffee like a few doors down, and then there's probably a bar somewhere close.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just kind of nice afterwards, wherever, if we wherever we're at, if they close down, then we can move somewhere else. So yeah, it's definitely like it better than, library was just kind of, I don't know. It was a good clean venue and it was easy to set up, but it was just, I don't know, just,
It didn't give the hacker vibes, you know.
yeah, yeah. I agree. And then,
It was good though.
yeah. And it's awfully cool of Jedi Mammoth to let us use his place. And
Yeah.
that's always an option. But, just like we did the little social event last week or last month. So we had to find a restaurant to go to. It's not a big deal, but it's just would be nice to be somewhere where we get food is always an option there or whatever. So yeah, family karaoke is too far south for us though. Unless they
Oh yeah,
open one,
that's
unless they
way
open
down there.
one in Denton.
Family karaoke, I think he's kind of saying that feels like the hacker vibes, and I can whatever they do to that environment. I don't know what it's normally like, but it does feel pretty, pretty right. The few times I've been able to actually go.
Yeah, I agree.
Lord
One of
Caffeine says they need coffee and they're sold. Not surprised.
the
Name gave it away.
yeah, so hopefully we'll find something like that soon. I know we went up to Denton a couple weekends ago with Darren to see if we could find something up there, and we saw that the pizza place or whatever the is not open yet. I guess it's supposed to open sometime this month, maybe. I don't know. So at least maybe it'll be open by November or so, and
Yeah,
get our
Funky had the
hooks
inside
in.
scoop to what it was supposed to be. I don't know if it's supposed to be pizza still. It used to be J&J's. I don't know if they're gonna rename it or rebrand it or do pizza. I don't know what they're gonna do. They just need to let us go in that basement. That's all I care about.
They need to name it Pizza Planet so then we can hack the Pizza Planet.
Yeah,
Or-
that would be
or- I
that would
guess
be perfect.
I guess I shouldn't encourage hacking the venue, but
Yeah, we'll create our own network. They can hack on that.
yeah,
You need to pay to go inside. No, I don't think anywhere that we plan on going to will have any kind of fee to get in whatsoever. It'll just be come as you are, and we're hoping to have some sort of food, snack, caffeine. I want to do a bar just because we've even had some kids. When we had our hacking workshop with Ben 10, we had some kids show up, and that was cool. I got to we were trying to get his box working, and we couldn't get it to work, but I was able to let him use mine, and I think he ended up doing some Bandit over the wire Bandit, just so something easy for him to get to without having to install a VM and all
yeah,
that fun
I
stuff.
remember that you're working with him, getting him set up. Yeah, we need to get Mobius up sometime to do some lock picking too.
Yeah, actually, I mean, even Funky has some gear and some
Yeah, we
skill.
could.
Maybe not as much as Mobius, but when I could get something together, I have some. This was actually a pretty funny story. I wanted to start lock picking and figured out. I got myself a little kit, and I'm like, how am I going to get locks? I need locks, and I'm a pretty weird slash creepy resourceful guy, and so I start getting this grand idea. I'm going to call around to locksmiths, and I'm going to say, hey, you got any old locks? I don't need anything that has keys to them. They can be super old. They can be rickety. I don't care. But do you have any locks, door locks, padlocks, anything laying around? And all of them said yes. All of them had something like extra inventory that they really didn't need. But when I asked them that I wanted them so I could practice lock picking, almost all of them immediately got standoffish. They're like, do you have a license? Who the crap is this guy? Trying to learn to pick locks. And I would try to explain myself of why, with the profession, it's a well-known thing to get into physical pen testing and, do some ethical hacking and defense. And most of them were pretty weirded out and told me no, but there was one or two that said yes. And I got a little small basket of just old locks, no keys. I don't know. I'm sure there's other ways to do it, maybe pawn shops, but I was looking for some just free junk.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of cool.
I
Actually,
know,
Houston Con last week, I learned to pick a lock for the first time. I've had Mobius come into my class at Dallas College before, or be other places, and someone give me a pick, and I just really wasn't interested in it. But at Houston Con, uh, one of the people that was volunteering there showed me how to pick locks. He started me out with like a 1-pin lock, and it's kind of funny because I thought it was a fluke, and it's kind of like Mobius says too. The first time you do it, it's probably just luck or a mistake. And so I did a couple times, got it. They progressed us to 2-pin locks and went up to 4-pin locks was the most. And I got to where I could do it pretty easy. I actually had fun with it. Oh, so we see Funky just joined. Funky Cold.
yeah. He couldn't join in person, but he's snooping. which is
Yeah.
nice. He's a good snooper.
So Funky, you've got the link if you want to join us. If you want to let everyone, if you want to grace everyone with your beautiful face.
He's got a good he's got a good beard going now.
Yeah, he does.
He's turned into his little hacker cave that he's got going with a new job, and he's starting to rival my beard length. I'm
Yeah,
liking it.
you guys' beard game since the pandemic is up big time. So
someone said earlier they have to get a bald head and a beard so they can kind of join the hacker family. I don't know if that's a criteria.
Yeah, I don't do a beard anymore because I got too much gray hair and I'm not dyeing a beard.
Hey, I'm working on it, dude. I'm embracing the white wizard beard. It's coming.
The Voldemort to hacking.
Yeah, Funky might jump in. He said, give him a second.
Okay, cool. That would be awesome. So yeah, it's pretty exciting to be thinking about starting the DEF CON group. The recognition, people, see the t-shirts and people will, figure it out a lot easier.
You got votes for a white beard. You got to try it out.
I don't want anything to make me look older. So, I mean, that's why I got rid of mine. It wasn't too bad. But I used to work with a guy that he used to dye his hair and his beard. And whenever he didn't dye it for a while, he'd look like a skunk. I mean, because he'd have this white roots, and then the same thing with his beard.
Right.
Yeah, I had a beard for a while from my powerlifting years. So
I was watching some of your videos the other day.
Okay.
You came out. It was like I think you doing some squats or something, or I don't even know what it's called. Yeah, you were on a bar and just doing.
Yeah, squat.
You came out looking like what's the Rock from? I'm a terrible nerd because I'm forgetting this, but the Rock character from the Fantastic Four.
Oh, the Thing.
The Thing, yeah, you look like him just stomping out there, dude.
That's actually where I got my powerlifting nickname from. One of my buddies called me Rock Man, and is inspired by the Thing from the Fantastic Four.
I think it said that maybe in that video. I don't know how, like, YouTube suggested it to me for some weird reason. I think I've watched some of your old wrestling videos, and so you're in my algorithm, Phil.
Okay. I don't know if that's
for better or for worse. I don't know.
Yeah. See, I don't know if that's good or bad.
Right.
But I don't know. Dave Kennedy's making it popular, so it might not be bad.
This is true. He's looking swole in that car, dude.
Yeah.
Talking about hacking things, that car he has going. He posted pictures of it. That thing looks sick.
I saw that.
If I could ever do that, but the thing looks awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, back to the kind of thinking back the lock picking, man, that was fun. I really need to get me some picks because it gave me something different to do, to learn something, because I've kind of been borderline burning out on stuff and just sat back there in a lock pick room playing around with those locks. It was kind of relaxing because I really didn't pressure myself. I just was playing around. It was kind of nice.
I don't feel like I have it down quite yet. Like most of my picks that I've successfully done have been just lazy raking. I mean, I've been very successful when I'm doing it, but just some nice lazy raking has always worked quite well. But I've never really gotten the feel for like actually going to feel that each individual pin or hear it or whatever. It's just I get in there and just dirty rake it, and most of the time it works.
There we go. Welcome.
Hey, where you at? You're in New York. No audio.
Yeah, we can't hear your audio.
That's why there's a button.
There you go.
Got the double mute.
That's right.
So how's it going? So you actually out of town?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was out jogging, so I just got back in, and I'm still kind of sweaty. I actually haven't taken a shower yet. I was like,
now you're
maybe
funky
I can
hot.
jump on real quick.
Funky hot.
Extra funky. Extra funky.
Extra funky hot. Yeah.
Exactly. Extra funky right now. Change my name to EX Funky Cold.
So seeing your shirt, we'll have to start working on some shirts too. Soon.
Yeah, we need like a design contest for the logo. You just got to incorporate the. I was looking at some other DEF CON groups, just trying to get some inspiration, and looks like the only requirement is to try to sneak the DEF CON skull in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife's been working on some stuff.
Oh, cool.
A little bit. I thought I shared some of that down earlier when we started the discussion around this early on. We were getting a little antsy, I think, but we definitely have some design logos and ideas out there, especially incorporating stuff around Denton.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we need. We need you for your. I guess you lived in Denton for a while, didn't you, Phil?
Yeah.
Funky's got that old school, growing up in Denton knowledge. I used to talk about wild stuff at work. I'm like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, I
I'm just
left.
not.
I was there up until '97, and then we moved to Carrollton.
Yeah, I'm not a good Texan. I don't know all the history.
Need to look up. There's a new. They're trying to get it going, but it's Denton Palooza,
Okay.
and they have a list of all the crazy stuff for Denton. Anything you can think of, Goatman's Bridge, things of that nature. A lot of the Denton Spider Man on the square, all kinds of little things. So there's tons of things to incorporate for Denton.
Cool. Yeah, so it'd be interesting to get those shirts. Maybe even figure we maybe get some challenge coins or something too.
I like that.
Yeah. What's the first talk going on? I know Darren's doing the talk. Does he have a topic yet?
Yeah, he's got a topic. I have to remember what it is. It's kind of, yeah, I'm not even 100% sure. It's kind of similar to he's kind of built on the talk that he gave at Pwn School Dallas a couple years ago, because his skills have improved a lot since then. He's given the talk at Texas Cyber Summit, so I'm not sure if we'll be able to stream it or record it or not. But
Did he do the one? He did one at the North Texas cybersecurity group too. I think it was like a
yeah,
continuation of the same. Was that one?
it was the same one.
A lot of toolcraft type stuff.
Yeah,
That was fun because he was one of the first ones to bring some just fresh out of the box kind of thinking, because he was kind of new to it, just exploring things. There was one. What's that? It was a build kind of like Kali, but for Windows based stuff. I forget the name of it.
oh,
But,
Commando VM.
yeah, there you go. He brought quite a few things that I haven't really heard about before. It's always fun just hearing new tools and getting to play with new things. That's why I like when Funky gave his OSINT talk. I was just writing all these creeper stalker tools down. I still hit him up all the time trying to find stuff.
You need a list. I give you a list of things.
I know, dude. He's been blowing up the since switching to the new job. He's tunnel for vision. He's been blowing up the Pwning OSINT channel with tools all the time.
Oh, I bet you're having fun with that. So how's that going? Is it helping your OSINT a lot?
I mean, yeah, I get more variety than I did, in the previous job. It's not so, one-sided. So I get to see a lot more, companies and industries. I get to go poke at a lot of different things, and it's fun because we get customers that give us use cases, and I'm like, hey, what about this? And I'm like, I never thought about that. Yeah, but it's out there. You should be thinking about it, or someone should be.
Very cool. Yeah, I need to do more in that area. I just kind of getting bored with some of the stuff I do, but need to spend some time on some other topics myself too.
Yeah, I had a task outside of work a while back to just do a little extra background check on some stuff, and Funky helped me quite a bit. It was some fun stuff that was discovered. It was helpful to the task at hand. Someone's like, "Hey, you do hacker stuff. Can you look into this for me?" And I'm like, "Sure." And I go to Funky. I did that the other day too. Someone was asking me, a buddy of mine was asking me about a particular breach that was going on that was just relative to his his day job, and I was like, I haven't really read into it. Let me ask around, and then Rick just flooded me with stuff. I look like a rock star. I didn't give him any credit either.
That's fine. I don't need any credit. Just knowing I helped, that's all.
Yeah.
So thinking of the DEF CON group, we'll see how that turns out. But Juno was asking who from DC214 wants to come up. So that would be cool.
For the first meeting, just kind of
yeah.
Yeah,
cool. Figure I'm going to go to DC214 tomorrow just to kind of help get the word out a little bit more there. I'm sure it'll get mentioned, but I haven't been to DC214 since it started back up in person.
Yeah. That'd be cool. We need to get some more people to talk to. I know we've kind of all taken turns. I have a few people I'd like to ask. There's one I've been waiting on a long time. I need to hit him up again. He had a really killer story. How much, I guess you gotta process how much I can say, but he was a CISO at a big company and kind of burnt the midnight oil tracking down someone who was doing some fraud against their company, and soul handedly tracked the guy down. It was pretty stinking cool, but I don't know if the case that he was working on is like ready for public, but he gave a talk. It just wasn't recorded or publicized. It was at a local sitting. Super cool talk, and I really wanted him to give that talk. It's been, what was that I mentioned that, Rick? Like 2 years ago, I think
It's
I heard
been
him
a
talk,
while,
and
yeah.
I started asking him, and he got busy with some stuff. I didn't want to bother him, but I think I'm ready to bother him again.
Yeah, one of the things that need to try doing too that Tyrone Wilson does for his group up in DC. He got a pay-per call account set up so that way anyone can submit talks like they would submit for a conference. They just go on there and they got submissions on there. So, you'd get some people that way that you may not even know of that submit talks. But I guess we'd have to also decide too whether we're going to do things virtual too, because another option would be is have people give their talks virtual too. That way that would give us a more variety. Because just the thing is getting people to come up to Denton. And I think, people, attending regularly might be difficult, but someone coming up once and giving a talk, I don't think would be so bad.
Yeah, I figured even with with the other DC Group 214, I'm sure we could even, I guess it matters if they broadcast or we broadcast, but could even share speakers from time to time when we have a good topic or good speaker and vice versa.
Yeah.
I know Juno did, I don't know where it was at, where she did a talk on game theory that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I remember talking quite a bit on that, and then we ended up somehow off topic on deception for a while.
It's kind of interesting because the first conference she gave that at was at B-Sides Austin in 2019. And it was interesting. And I was really proud of her because, at the time she was like under 25 years old or so, but she sits there in this talk. I mean, her first security conference talk, AV's not working, and she goes to the whiteboard.
Nice.
And just does it on the whiteboard and didn't seem the least bit nervous or whatever and pull it off. That was pretty amazing. If I'd been in that situation, I would have just had to read my screen and do the slides and not be able to project it or something. But it was pretty amazing that she pulled that off.
Yeah, it's always rough when something goes wrong. It's like the last one I spoke at for Denton. I tried to bring a crappy laptop and audio wasn't working. we got it to go, but it was definitely a little rough to the start for sure.
Yeah, it's good when you do this stuff enough. It doesn't take as long to get figured out. A few years ago, it would have been a little more difficult. So we're going to get Pony to give a talk sometime.
There you go.
Yeah.
Pony, what can you talk on, bro? What have you been working on? That's what I think is hilarious the few times I've been able to go to Dallas Hackers Association, you just have used to have him screaming like, "What? Someone get up here! Someone talk! What have you been working on?" He's all up in my face, He's like, "I know you've been working on something this week." I was like, "Dang, man, I'm not prepared for this." Pony's good at talking smack. All right. How to be jobless. Man, we gotta work on that, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, it's networking. That's the tough thing. So, Pony, have you been able to do any internships?
He had a couple like interviews and was talking about some other stuff with me recently. That's the thing. That's the thing cool about just being in a group. People are sometimes intimidated to come to some of the meetup groups, whether it's Pwn School or Dallas Hackers or whatever. But I just like to speak to the openness, and maybe that's a topic we can hit really quick, is the openness of these communities. Like, you just meet some really humble but stinking smart people. Everybody thinks that everyone's smarter than them, and they're all intimidated, but they love to share and talk and be open. I really have enjoyed that about the community, is just be able to get out there and talk about whatever. People are so willing to share information, to help. I took Pony home one day and I'm like, "Why don't you have a job yet? What is it? Do you say dumb stuff? Do does your resume suck? Like, are you a bad interviewer? Like, what is it? Let's work on something. Pick something that we can work on. Let me look at your resume. Let me, I'll call you up and do a mock interview. Whatever you need." And so that's the kind of people I'd also welcome to the communities. You don't have to be some overconfident wizard to go to any of the groups. You can be just a nobody like the rest of us trying to figure it out. Talk about what you've been working on. Like, every little project's cool. And we may ask you more about it and just want to know what you're working on, and we may have suggestions or tell you what we've worked on. That's what I've enjoyed, is there's no real agenda. Sometimes I'd rather just sit there and have conversation like we did last time at the restaurant, you know?
Yeah, I like that too. Just to talk, because people come up with topics that you otherwise wouldn't have heard because, just like the guy that works with the medical devices and stuff, talking about what he does. Whenever sometimes we have a talk, we don't have that much time to discuss it, and sometimes those things don't come up. But another cool thing about these going to the meetups and stuff is just the fact that if you give presentations, it can help you find a job. There was a guy that went to DHA and Pone School, and he gave a talk at DC 214, and a hiring manager from City was there. He did a talk on malware analysis. He had just graduated from UT Arlington. He gave his presentation, and the guy asked for his resume, and he got hired. Because he's proving something technical, so it's kind of almost like a semi-technical interview for him. So it doesn't have to be these elaborate talks. I mean, you could just get up there and share, how you built your home lab, or how you built, something with Security Onion or different things like that.
Yeah, I mean, just building those relationships are so key, just talking to people, getting to know people and plugging in. It may not pay off right away, right? But I've had people that I met 5, 6+ years ago when I first got into security. I just had one hit me up the other day, DM me and said, "Hey, you ready to get into full-time pen testing yet?" It's like, I don't know. That could be cool. I've been doing a lot of defense for quite a long time, and still get to do a decent bit of offense. But you just never know. I have people hit me up all the time, like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" Or just having those relationships built in. I know, like right now, we'll be hiring a few people soon, and it'll be nice to maybe hit up a few people that are meet the qualifications that I've met at different. It's always nicer to interview with somebody you know. I think some of the best team members we've had lately are people we know.
Yeah, that makes sense because it's a lot easier for them to be comfortable. And that's one of the big mistakes, I think, when people are interviewing technical people, because interviews are stressful to begin with, but then you take some people that are good, technical folks. Sometimes they just don't do well in stressful situations, the interview. So I think really as interviewers, people really need to work hard at making them comfortable and relaxed to learn what this person knows, and not just, grill them and try to trip them up on questions. Cause it seems like some interviews they're trying to, stump the person they're interviewing, and that's not really the case. You need to really make them comfortable that we can learn what because you all know there's people you've worked with that have been extremely introverted and would have a hard time talking, but if they're comfortable, you can find out so much about them. And just because someone doesn't talk much, someone is quiet, doesn't mean they don't know anything. It's just they're kind of shy.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Wheatley. We met him, in fact, at Jedi Mammoth's first little meetup he did in Denton when he first got into town, and did a cool little CTF. And Funky and I were there, and we were doing the CTF and hanging out, and this Wheatley guy was just destroying me. I'm like, who is this guy? Had to figure out who he was and talk to him. And shoot, like 2 years later, we ended up hiring him for a couple years.
And I stole him.
You did, you jerk. No, I'm actually super excited for him to do that. Like that'll be so cool. He's been working on that, and he's got his freaking OSTP, and anything that we had was red team based around on our team, we'd be like, Wheatley, go destroy it. And every time he would, man, it was really cool to see him learn and work in his strengths and build those confidence. And I have the utmost confidence that he'll continue to do that with you also. It's just fun to see people evolve,
Yeah, I agree. And that's the same thing with me. If I'm on a team with someone, I'm trying to recruit people to our team, but at the same time, if I know I can help someone on the team in advance and it means going somewhere else, I'll do that,
I see people in the chat talking about internships and trying to look for them. Like, how much do you all really see internships? I haven't been at too many places that have regular internships. I don't know. I'm sure it's a thing.
Yeah.
But it feels almost easier to get like entry level positions and just get your feet in the door,
Yeah, I've been at some places. I believe my current employer has internships. I think Kimberly Clark did. I see even like State Farm from time to time posts up
Yeah.
internships. The thing about that is you really got to watch that stuff ahead of time because they'll announce in the fall that, this is at least 6 months out that, or they'll announce now that they may have a summer internship or something in the spring. So they really announce kind of early on. So it's kind of funny too, the community, how small this world is. When I was at Kimberly Clark, someone that I knew from Twitter was actually one of my students, actually got an internship at Kimberly Clark while I was there. And one of the reasons I really encourage people to try to get internships if they can, she pretty easily got a job after doing the internship. You get that little bit of experience because everyone wants experience, and that's what keeps people from getting jobs. So if you could do that, and the mention of apprenticeships, I really wish that would become a thing because typically to get internships, you have to work, you have to be going to school, you have to be going to college or something to get an internship. So apprenticeships would be cool if people would do that. And I actually talked to a company a while back. They liked the idea, but one of the things I saw pretty soon is they were talking about that they could probably have about 2 apprentices at a time and then kind of cycle them out. And then it's kind of a scaling issue. When you can only do 2, you can't really impact the overall uh, community or the people looking for jobs with only just 2 apprentices. So you have to have multiple. So you have to get buy-in by multiple companies like you do with internships.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of even just finding a mentor. Like I said, meeting people at some of the local meetups, whether it's a DC group or Pwn School or Dallas Hackers. There's lots of people out there. Like someone said in the chat, they've asked for lots of mentors, but can't find time to commit. And I get that. Like I'm busy, but I try to mentor a couple people at a time. The gentleman I met him at where did I meet him at? Oh yeah, it was at the North Texas Cybersecurity Group. He was just asking questions. I could tell he's a little new, trying to get in the field, and I hit him up after and said, "Hey, ask me questions. I'm no wizard, but I'll answer what I can, give you my opinion. It may be good, maybe not, but it's good to get opinions." And I've been mentoring him for a few years now. He's had a few babies along the line, and COVID kind of messed some stuff up. But he just got a job with Ben 10 and Trusted Sec.
So you coaching him on dropping shells too, I see, huh?
Yeah, no, but I mean, like it
was.
I didn't even introduce him to anybody at Trusted Sec. He hit me up. He's like, "Hey, I've been applying for a few places, and I was applying to this little firm. Have you heard of this place called Trusted Sec?" I'm like, trying not to drool as a fanboy, you know what I mean? And he's like, "You know who they are?" It's like, "Heck yeah, I know who they are, dude." And then he tells me that he's like interviewing on Ben 10's team, new team he's spinning up. I'm like, "Oh, dang, dude, I would, it's like a dream job to work under some wizards like that." So, um, had nothing to do with my mentorship or anything like that, but he's, picked up a lot of things. And what I've always tried to push is what I've done, which is like, I'll call it simulated experience, get a cheap computer, cheap server. I've gotten ones for free, or I bought a server for a couple $100, which is cheaper than a used desktop at sometimes, and just slap on Security Onion or slap on, whatever platform you want to hack on, slap on Juice Shop or, vulnerable web apps, whatever it is, and just start getting that simulated experience if you can't get on the job experience. Go listen to some talks, find something that sounds interesting to you, and get after it. Black Hills InfoSec, they do free to inexpensive training all the time, and like every single one of those have a lab that you can goof off in.
Yeah, and speaking of them too, Jason Blanchard's streams he does on finding a job,
Oh yeah, that's right.
going over resumes and stuff. I've heard a lot of people and just seen his results, just stuff he posted, but a lot of people saying they got a lot of good out of it.
Yep. Yeah, Pony called me up one day. I think we were on some video chat. It didn't work very well, but we were making it happen. He's working on some little crappy laptop trying to get it spun up, and back it was probably a while back, but yeah, just anything you got, any hardware you can get, it'll work. Whatever little OS you want to put on there, just start playing with stuff. Or in some cases, you don't even need a VM to start with. Shoot, you can spin up stuff in a $5 a month DigitalOcean box with very little, hurdles to spin up. That's so easy to spin up a DigitalOcean box for $5 a month and throw Juice Shop on there through Docker. I found write-ups how to do it when I first did it. So there's lots of options out there to to
Yeah.
get what I'd call simulated experience.
As far as Juice Shop goes, you can get a Heroku account. It's Salesforce's cloud, and you can host Juice Shop for free on it.
Pony said $5 is a lot if you're jobless like us. Pony, I'll let you put Juice Shop on my $5 box, bro. I can do that for you. You get 3 months free. Just kidding. No, actually, I'm not kidding. I'll brick a Chromebook.
Yeah, one of the things for people looking for mentors too, take whatever time you can get, because not everyone can commit an hour a week or an hour a month to talk to you. So get any kind of information you get. You know, you might DM someone, I don't know, maybe Dave, maybe you DM Dave Kennedy and you can get, some communication, go with him, get some valuable information. So get what you can, because that's one of the things I do when someone asks for mentoring. I really never turn anyone down.
Right.
It's not like I can commit to an hour a day, once a month or once a week, but sometimes I will give someone a call or, answer questions and do stuff like that. I try to do what I can. It's hard to say no, but I'd also advise anyone out there, just get what information you can for someone. They may not be able to commit to long-term mentoring, but every little thing helps out. You get what you can from Funky, you get what you can from Papa, and just kind of build on it. You learn things and then you go somewhere else and ask people questions based on what you've learned so far and just build off of that.
I've had plenty of people DM me on Twitter or wherever and ask me if I can chat about something or help them with something. And usually I give me a week, 2 weeks notice at best. I usually have a night that I can make free, and I'll say, hey, let me throw my, baby shells in the bed, and I'll get them in the bed or get my wife to agree, like tonight, to put the kids to bed without me. And there's been times where I've seriously sat on the phone until midnight with someone for like 3-4 hours, just shooting the breeze, answering questions. One of them we got on, a gentleman on Twitter I've talked to a few times now, and we jumped on Discord, shared screen. We were on Shodan, looking at each other's personal IPs at our house and hunting ourselves down. And in fact, I found a recent network change I made was something that I had exposed, and so did he. We locked them down together, just no agenda, talking, asking questions, learning. That's how I like to do it.
Yeah, with all these virtual conferences and stuff too, those are good. I found out that North Texas ISSA conference is going to be hybrid. Originally, I think it was only in person, but I found out it's going to be hybrid.
Which one? Sorry, I was distracted by the chat.
The North Texas ISSA conference,
cool.
the one they usually have at Colin.
Are you going to the Texas Cyber Summit?
Yes.
Yeah. You're sending some virtual tickets or something, I think.
Yeah.
Now I can't remember. Someone asked me today. In fact, it was Ben Tenney asked me if I was going, and I was joking with him, DMing about my mentee I was working with. He told a funny story of when he did some work for us and got into a precarious situation down in Mexico. And I was just DMing him about that, just joking around. And he said he's taking his whole crew down there. I told him I wouldn't be there, but I was going to try to attend virtually.
Yeah, I saw that they're actually going to be there in person for the training they're giving. So yeah, I'm doing a talk, and they're also setting up a book signing for me too. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Very nice.
So Darren will be giving his first conference talk there too. So
very cool. Yeah, what happens in Mexico stays in Mexico. All I'm saying is, after hearing that story, I'm not a fan. I'll stay. I'll stay stateside.
Back when I was consulting, one of the first physical assessments I was ever offered was across the border in Mexico, and they were trying to get me to go. And the part of you look at the statement of work, they wanted someone to know Spanish and all this, and you find out they're going to send you over there with armed guards. I'm thinking, someone's got armed guards. I don't know Spanish.
Yeah, dude,
and I'm going to go over there. I don't want to end up in a jail over there or something, or get shot. And after they shoot my armed bodyguard, I'm open game next. So, so yeah, I declined that one. That was like one of the only projects I was ever offered that I turned down. It's like, nah.
This was just a retail storefront in, I think, like Mexico City, and dude ends up in a back dark room, interrogated. I'm like, yep, nope, I'll pass.
That would be scary.
Yeah, dude.
Because you hear some of the stories with even just their law enforcement and stuff, and you haven't done anything wrong, so it's kind of scary.
Yeah, like the coal fire guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I forget his name. I'm blanking right now. I know he's not with Coal Fire anymore, but he came to one of our kind of social gatherings, eating out at the restaurant one night, and was telling kind of war stories a little bit. And he ended up being, I think he was like the director over those guys that
Oh,
got goofed up at the
that's
the
Joseph
courthouse.
Newman. I think he's still there.
I thought he moved on somewhere else recently, but I could be wrong. But yeah, that's right. That's who it is. I couldn't remember his name. I've only met him the one time. Funky, what fun stuff have you been working on? You still we still gotta get that second part 2 talk out of you. That's all I know.
Yeah, it's like 3/4 of the way done. I haven't focused on it in a while. I have to go back and review it. But no,
I watched through part 1 the other day, and I just remembered how funny it was. I might have been like because I had some personal connection to some of the examples, but still, it was funny nonetheless.
I actually shared that talk with our internal security folks
Nice.
because I got a nice little phishing email, someone trying to pose of our CEO and trying to get me to I was like, hey, do you guys ever respond to these and do some attribution on them? Because
it's quite fun.
that can be fun. And here's a talk that I did about this.
Yeah.
If you ever need someone to do that, I'd be happy to.
You probably don't need that distraction, but it might make for good content.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, lately it's for me, it's a lot of just volunteer work that I've been doing with trying to get more hands-on with Innocent Lives Foundation and doing more there and gearing up for the next Trace Labs CTF that they're doing. Not November, I believe it is. Maybe October. Might be this month. Anyways, it's coming up soon. So no, if I can find an OSINT CTF, that's where I'm doing. Those other CTFs, they're fun, but just not fun for me anymore.
You're gonna have to start taking notes and create one for DC 240 at some point.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do something.
That could be fun. I want to do a workshop for the network hunting stuff eventually. Just every time I go to mess with it, it takes so much time.
Yeah, we did a when I was at with previous employer, the information sharing group that we were a part of actually did an OSINT CTF where we actually built out the CTF and we put a bunch of flags out on the internet for folks to go find and kind of walk them through the training and everything around how to go find those things. It's when you're doing OSINT CTFs and you're putting things out there in the wild, that's a bear because you're trying to build things out there that aren't going to get taken down. Because social media, Facebook, the Twitters, TikToks, the Snaps, they've gotten really good about closing things down pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But you can still create puppet accounts and all kinds of junk accounts out there still. It's doable, but you got to build those up with some rapport and then start laying down flags. And it can be hard at times, but it would be fun to build out a OSINT CTF to have the DEF CON group here in Denton go after that.
It's the same thing with the network hunting. I just feel like it takes so long to get all the PCAPs together and get enough noise. It's like I'll do some CTFs and they give you like the agenda to follow, but sometimes the way our brain thinks, you think outside the box and you just do the opposite of the search that they want, or you do kind of like a dirty search, just seeing like, pow, it's right there because they have no noise in the CTF to kind of distract you away. And so we like, dang it, I didn't want to fight it this way, but that's why I get a little OCD maybe on wanting to not have it like that. It would take a while.
Yep.
I've
That
never
would be.
been to OSINT one though. That'd be fun.
I have to see what I can come up with. It's what kind of story I can come up with, and I probably got some sock puppets out there that I can burn and just let everybody go poke at them.
Yep. I'd
I'm
feel like a
sure.
fish out of water, but it'd be fun to do one. See, have you laugh at me the whole time.
Oh no, they're not that bad. They're nice. They're easy. Anyone can do them. It's a good primary. Just getting into like pen testing and red teaming and stuff, because being able to do that type of recon and find the stuff and find the things you're not supposed to find and share those kind of things. Those are really good things to do, because those things transition from external to internal uh, testing and stuff. So it's a good thing to know how to do real well. Um, so
My kids just found out that we're broadcasting on Twitch, and they think that's ridiculously cool. And so one of their hands just made an appearance. They're probably like sticking their hand and running back to the TV to see if they can see it. So if you see me like horse kick somebody, you'll know what's going on.
So did you get a new background?
Nope, just a bed
Okay.
sheet, I think. I have one of the Funky's inspired me a little bit. He's been sending me some pictures of his new setup and whatnot. Now he's kind of getting everything redone and a new office built out. So I'm starting to get a little jelly. So I was just talking to my wife the other day about building out this office a little more, because that way I don't have to use a virtual background or hang a sheet. Because if I didn't have a sheet up, you'd see like a small grow tent behind me thinking I'm growing marijuana, but just vegetables.
hilarious.
Yeah, I'd like to do like a feature wall. Be like, I see like Dave Kennedy's setup. He has all kinds of fun stuff behind him. You got your Dr. Pepper theme.
Yeah.
Rick's got like the hacker cave working out. I want to get the little. I don't know. It's like you see all these different cool backdrops. I was looking at I'll show my wife like Network Chuck's kind of layout in his setup. I'm like, I want it like that. I want it dark, put some low lights and a little bit of LEDs here and there, and just some fun background stuff. That way I can not use a virtual background or whatever else. Get a better camera and lighting setup. Gotta keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah, I just noticed what shirt you're wearing, Sheldon.
Yeah, it's old school. I've had it for a while. Red Canary.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Canary tokens, which are also very fun.
Yes, they are. They're extremely fun.
I remember we first started playing with those for some of the attribution stuff. Just that's kind of part of Funky's talk, was scamming the scammers, and so it's really funny to use some of those. Just see what type of attribution you can get back, when they may goof up.
Yeah.
It's really it's funny because it's just marketing techniques. If you think about it, like it's not like hackerish. Like half the things you're doing are the same things that people in marketing have been doing for years, to kind of track people and get attribution. So yeah. Trying not to distract you too much with different. We didn't have an agenda or anything to talk about, so we're just kind of like topic to topic.
Hey, we did pretty good though. I guess we're so used to working with each other. It's a lot easier than if you got someone you don't know very well. So
yeah, true. What have you been working on, Phil? I know you've kind of getting back in the groove of your new but old role, and
yeah, a lot of conference stuff, just virtual conferences and things, because last week during HUSETCon, the second day of the conference, I had a virtual panel to do for S&P Global. That's where Alyssa Knight works, and she invited me to be, or recommended me for the panel. They did a panel on ethical hacking. So I had that going on, and then today I did a talk for Flatiron School. They asked me to do a talk on pen testing for them, and then BSIM is kind of like a application security group that was formed or community formed by Synopsys. So I'm giving a talk for them tomorrow. Then I got a podcast recording to do coming up here this week. And then on Sunday, I've got a web app pen testing workshop for women cyber jitsu. So a lot of virtual talks mixed in with some in-person stuff. Good to be doing some in-person stuff again. So it's good to get out to HUSECCon and get to actually see people in person.
Yeah, how was that? Was it a good
It was
turnout?
it was pretty good. It seemed like there you definitely could tell there were less people than were there before. It was kind of cool. Hacks for Pancakes, Leslie Carhart, she was there, and Robert Lee, both from Dragos. They have a heavy emphasis on. I never really paid attention to that before. Had a track dedicated to OCS and OT, ICS and OT, which was kind of interesting.
Is she? So she's there with him at Dragos? I guess I didn't know that. I don't keep up.
Yeah,
as much,
she's been there for I don't know how long. She's been there for quite a while, but yeah, that's where she's at. She gave the opening keynote. I think he gave like the closing keynote.
it's fun stuff to keep up with. I'd like to study a little bit more because even like in, I mean, not even retail, but lots of different companies have some sort of logistics. You know, even small, you know, operational technology stuff at small scales, just around your building. Like we found some stuff doing heating and cooling, and you know, your backups. There's all sorts of stuff around the OT realm that even if that's not the full-time thing you do, it's nice to. What is BACnet? You know, can I find some stuff that's not you know, not isolated or not segmented off? Just some of that stuff that they work on is super cool. Or that gentleman you mentioned working, has been coming to Pwn School and doing medical devices. Like that's so fascinating to be able to have that exposure, even though he doesn't work full time in security. I'm like, take advantage. You
Yeah.
know, start see if you can't get a couple of old retired machines you can poke at.
Yeah, even if you can just let him do a security assessment of current products and stuff, that's a good area to get into.
Definitely.
It's also interesting too because I saw Don Weber there. He does training for SANS, the ICS training. So he did the course that I took last year, the ICS pen testing course at SANS last year. So he was there. It was cool to see him. He was speaking there. It was good, and they had some good presenters. But one of the differences, like in 2019, the previous in person when you had Chris Roberts was there, Ira Winkle was doing with the keynotes. I think Chris Roberts did the opening keynote, and Ira did the closing keynote. Jason Street was there. I think he was just a spectator, but Marcus Carey was there as a spectator. Several other people there, Wirefall from DHA, and then Brian from North Texas Cybersecurity Group, and it was a pretty good turnout. I mean, it was a lot of people that were spectators were pretty well known folks and fun people to talk to. So it was a lot of fun. But this was good to get back into person. But it was just you could tell just a little less people, and as far as some of the people I knew there was like kind of less people presenting
we went
there.
down there. We went down there like funky now, like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Drove down, did a training with Hacker Hurricane. He was doing some malware analysis training that we did, and it was a good excuse to get down there, get some training, and meet some people. Had some good talks. Is it Dennis Maldonado? Is that his name?
Maldonado, yeah.
Yeah.
He like did some last minute talks. Like they asked him like super last minute to fill some spots, and he was just dropping knowledge bombs left and right. I think I first found out about and what is the platform? Blanking on tools. It's Byte Bleeders for one of his most popular tools.
Crack Map Exec.
Crack Map Exec, yeah. No, he was talking about Crack Map. I was asking him if he was. I think back then I was like using PowerShell Empire. He's like, no, I use Crack Map Exec more often. Now I was like, what is that? You know, it's just fun to talk to people and get ideas and hear tools of what they're using. I think he was talking about heading up HaHa, the Houston Area Hackers Association. Such a good name.
Yeah. I like for AHA. Kind of cracks me up. They have a pretty creative URL because it's takeon.me. It's like the band AHA and the song Take On Me. And so their URL is takeon.me.
Very meta. Very meta.
So yeah, we're at the top of the hour unless you guys have something else you want to talk about.
I don't have anything special. I like, as y'all know, I just like to chat with people and talk and find out what people's doing. I would just
Yeah.
sit here reading the chat and talk with people all night if I had the time.
Yeah, this is fun. We'll have to do this again too.
Yeah. Well, there's a chance to do Monday if you're close to Denton, even if you're not,
Yeah.
be a supporter, show up. Maybe if you have to drive a little bit, but show up to Denton on Monday. Let's have a nice kind of kickoff for the DC group. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's kind of giving me new excitement about it. It's funny because been kind of bored here. Not really. I've got stuff to do, but just kind of needed something to kind of pick me up. And just whenever I got the email last night that it was that we got approved, I was pretty happy to see that because I, applied the first part of the first week of August, and the last time I messaged them was a couple weeks ago. Still wasn't getting a response, and I was thinking, man, do we get declined or something? I can't imagine why we would get declined if we were declined. And just finally yesterday morning when I followed up with them, I had a message in the evening and they had us set up. So that's good. Good to see that.
Scoping all out. Someone wanted our Twitter handles. I gave them mine in the chat. Yeah, feel free to add me, DM me. If I have time, I'll help you out any way I can. And I'll talk even longer if you show up at the DEF CON group. We'll do, what do we call this? We'll call it SquareCon. We usually go outside the little courthouse area there for typically an extra hour just chatting and hanging out.
Yeah.
There's usually some entertaining people walking around the square.
Yeah, Tish, you have to make a trip to Texas sometime.
New Jersey, all right. That's not too far away. It's like what, a 18-hour drive, 20-hour drive.
Plane ride.
So yeah, we need Tish down here because she's a baker, and what it sounds like she makes some pretty good stuff too. So
we can have
like
snacks at every DC group.
Special brownies.
Uh-oh.
Aren't all brownies special?
They are to me, but some people may get confused with
caramel. Are you talking about caramel or actually, how do you say? Do you say caramel, caramel? Like, what do you say? Yeah, just kidding.
I say just keep them brownies. Put anything in them. Just make brownies.
So Cyber Tish, you ready for the workshop on Sunday? Forget she's actually was attending.
Which one are you doing?
The web app pen testing workshop for women cyber jitsu.
Oh, cool.
So I did 2 for them so far. I did a network pen testing workshop last month, web app pen testing this month, and I've got to get a cloud pen testing workshop built for next month.
Is it like theory, tools, tradecraft, or a little bit of mix with that and labs? Are you doing any kind of like labs or hands-on stuff? What are you doing?
Yeah, doing some labs and some theory and stuff, and just kind of showing methodology and stuff. So
give us some sneak peeks, some spoiler alerts, Phil. What are you doing?
One of the things I'm playing around with, and I got signed up, was through Snap Labs. I end up getting an instructor account from them, which works out pretty good. They give you 2 enterprise accounts, and then basically they charge you 15% per student. So that I'm kind of looking more into some of the more of the paid training, because HUSETCon asked me at the end of 2019 if I would do some paid training in 2020. And since that got pushed out, they canceled all the paid training. So I've got some good opportunities for paid training, and I really don't want to deal with trying to carry servers to a conference and then things don't work and deal with all that. So Snap Labs seemed like a good option.
If you can do some paid training like ours, when we did the training, it was a paid training. It wasn't too expensive. It wasn't overly cheap, but I think that's cool because you can use a lot of that expense to make things easier on you, do some cloud-based things, subscription, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
It gives you some flexibility.
And the cool thing is with the paid stuff, I'll use my instructor account, but he kind of recommended if I'm doing free training and I need to use, you can only have 1 user per lab, but what you can do there is create a template. And then when you go in the workshop, you just instruct everyone to, build their lab from the template and set up their Snap Labs account. So that works out. For the free stuff and then the commercial for the paid training. So I'm wanting to get more into that. I mean, because it was HUSETCon and some of these other conferences offer pretty good money to do that. So, I was figuring here a while back, like something a HUSECCon, I could work 8 hours teaching and make as much as I could for this company I do 1099 pen testing for, and it would take me 82 hours of pen testing to make the same thing I'd make in 80 hours. I mean, 8 hours.
Right. Yeah. I was
So
asked, how do you keep your day job, man? You're talking everywhere. I was like, when do you must be like not sleeping and cracked out on caffeine.
it's a lot of my free time. I don't have so much, but yeah, it's a good thing that my manager's really cool about all the, you know, conference speaking and stuff and
Yeah,
all that.
I figured that's what that was. That's super cool that you can have that flexibility. But I'm just glad they value your give back to the community and sharing knowledge and just making the space better.
Yeah, it's good to be appreciated because some places you go, they don't appreciate that stuff. I was like somewhere where I did, I did a free workshop for blacks in cybersecurity, and wasn't even acknowledged by my manager for doing it. Like in one of our staff meetings where they were talking about first quarter accomplishments. You know, you're doing something for a nonprofit for free that's helping the name of the company, and it just totally gets glossed over. So
I'm glad you were able to land somewhere where you can still be able to give back, share knowledge, and all that fun stuff. Because I think it's obvious by now that there's a lot of people that appreciate it, and sometimes I'm not sure how you do it all.
what's cool too is now, like one of the women cyber jitsu group, we can log like hours that we volunteer. And so I'm able to log the hours I volunteer to teach those workshops.
Yeah, that's cool.
So not that I'm really, but the good thing is, management and the company saying you're donating these hours, because I'm not into the Habitat for Humanity stuff. It's a great thing, but I did manual labor back when I was younger, and I don't want any part of it unless I have to. So I'd rather teach
Right.
or do something like that. So it's a good opportunity to get community volunteering credit for doing that.
Yeah, I'd like to work with younger people too. I've told quite a few people, I wish I could find someone that's in high school that knew that they wanted to do something in cybersecurity. They really liked it and they were driven, and I could basically just be able to mentor them, give them tasks, give them assignments, push them towards some base certifications to get. I'd love to be able to mentor for a couple of years a student in high school and see them get out of high school and be able to jump into a security job making higher than median income, straight out of high school. I think it's super possible if someone could put their mind to it. I wish that I had someone like that when I was younger to, show me the possibilities instead of discovering it when I was nearly 30,
Yeah, that would be cool.
Well, I won't elongate you too long. I know you usually go like an hour, unless you have some other subject or.
No, I can't think of really anything else. I mean, I think we'll call it a night. I appreciate you guys jumping on and helping me share the news. This is a lot of fun. We'll have to do this again.
Yeah, I'm excited to get in there and get the Discord set up. And if you're not in there already, we'll have it set up soon. And hopefully you're in the Pwn School Slack. We'll announce it over there and get people cut over. Yeah, I gotta go to these FISA dumps. Careful on your dumps there. Make sure those are dumps that won't penalize you. I was always careful about that. You could find some sketchy stuff on the internet when you're doing tests. You're not sure what may actually impact you negatively if you get caught, whether you meant to do it or not. I'm always paranoid about certifications. There's so many like red tape. Don't do this. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, I'm super excited. I'll be excited to see who can show up Monday and hang out, chat, hear from Darren, and have some hallway con.
Yeah, I have a pretty good feeling that it's going to be a good turnout, especially with Juno motivating some of the folks from DC 2 and 4 to show up. So that would be good. Better late than never, Kimberly. Good to see you, as always. So thanks everyone for joining, and we'll see you next time. And for those that are
now,
reduce the funky factor there. Huh?
Go from super funky hot to back to funky cold.
Well, thanks everyone.
All right, y'all have a good night.